All right, on today's episode,
Why do you go on cruises without me, Darren?
have fun on your work cruise. I thought it was have fun on your work cruise
Okay.
without me. Okay, let's try it again.
I liked what I said, but
All
okay.
right, maybe we'll use it. Hello, this is Darren,
And this is Paige.
and this is
Where's the Lemonade?
Where we talk about what happens when life throws you lemons.
Make some lemonade?
Maybe some weeks it's lemon squares.
Yeah, some weeks it's just lemons.
Yeah. On today's episode,
Have fun on your work cruise without me.
thanks, honey. All right. Recently, we had a big sales kickoff. It's the first time we've had the whole sales team together in 7 years. And they decided to save money and take everyone on a cruise.
So when you say we and they, you mean your work.
My work at
Yes.
Intel.
Yes.
Not Blue Door Productions or Blue Door Media that brings you Where's the Lemonade.
Yes. So your work
My work
took you on a cruise
took me on a cruise
to the Bahamas.
to the Bahamas. You don't like cruises.
I've only been on one. I need to try it again.
It was, people called it a boondoggle, but it saved us about 40%, and all of our salespeople came. And it was interesting because we were stuck on a cruise. People had to go to training sessions. There wasn't anything else to do on the cruise. Everything was shut off. So I thought it was actually pretty genius. But the optics, not great.
Oh, and when you land, well, when you were like at port in the Bahamas, you had to go sit on the beach.
Does it look like I sat on the beach?
But I mean, they were giving you time to do that.
Yeah, we had 3 or 4 hours.
At Nassau?
Nassau, it wasn't. It was out a private
Okay.
island.
Oh, a private island.
Yeah,
Okay.
private island.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun, and it was good to be with all my colleagues that I haven't seen in years. So that was kind of fun. But how did you feel that time when I'm off,
On a cruise?
on a cruise?
Without me?
Yeah. But you don't like cruising.
I've only been on one. And now that I have my relief band, maybe I would be
Maybe
okay.
you'd like it.
No, I give you a hard time about going on the cruise.
Yeah, you do.
But does it, would I have liked to gone with you? Of course. Of course. If you're going to go to a beach, I want to go with you. Of course. But am I jealous or was I upset? No, of course not.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you positive?
I'm positive.
All right. I do know that some of my coworkers, their spouses were upset.
Upset? Like upset?
Yeah, upset.
You know that I wasn't upset.
Oh, I know you weren't upset.
Yeah, I wasn't upset.
I can imagine where that could be a natural feeling, right? Oh, on a cruise.
Well, one of my friends,
We're not going to mention her name.
we're not going to, she was like, she very much she was like, wait, he's going on a cruise without you? And it was very funny what she was implying. Like, she was implying that would not be a good place for them to have meetings, to have meetings. She's just like, oh, great. People are drinking and people are in their swimsuits and, without their spouses. This doesn't seem like a good idea. So I think she was a little nervous for you. And
I have to say, there was like in every sales convention, there was a lot of alcohol. I didn't see a lot of people in the swimming pools and things like that.
Well, because it was a work cruise, like that, the optics of you're supposed to be in training and look,
and look, you're at the pool.
That would not be great for you.
I did walk in between different sessions while they were going on because I was a coach for different sessions.
Right.
And I walked across the whole ship to get to the other side, and I saw no one. So everyone was. Yeah. But I can see the optics of it, and I understand what our friend said.
Well, and I can
she's
see
more your friend than my friend now, because
she's like, what's Darren doing on that ship?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I can see how if you are in a relationship, marriages go like this, right? They go through their ups and downs. I mean, if anyone tells you differently, I think they're fibbing to you, because you do. You have times where you're like, so in love, and times where you're like, don't really want to look at you right now. So if you're going through a time where you're having one of those low points, I can see where if you're sending your spouse off on a cruise, and especially if your spouse drinks, luckily we don't drink, so I don't have that worry. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can see how it would be,
totally see it.
The nervousness, like, oh, okay, well, just make sure, and we always try and do this, send your spouse off happy.
Yes.
Do not have an argument before your spouse leaves town. Don't.
Yeah, don't. Try and something. All right, so there's some really good tips. You actually found some information on this.
So I was like, am I going to be able to find an article on like what to do when your partner's out of town? And I did find an article. So I like this article because I don't agree with a lot of it, and a lot of it doesn't apply to us, and we will talk about that. But, so this is what this article, this expert psychologist, marriage therapist was giving advice on how to handle your spouse traveling. And like I said, some of it I agree with, some I don't.
I think this is interesting because we're talking about my business trip, but you've been on girls' trips.
Yeah. In fact, you were saying the other day when we were talking about being gone, how much we've been gone this half of the year. You were like, I think you've been gone more than I have, which isn't true.
Pretty close.
I was on 2 trips without you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, on 2 trips without you. But
they were fun trips. Mine were work
totally
trips.
Fun trips. Yes, all the trips you go on, not that fun.
I take a red eye out. Sometimes I don't even sleep in a hotel and I come home.
Yes, I was at Disneyland. I was getting massages. I was living the life.
So I think this applies to both. Let's just say it.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's some tips to cope with being home alone.
Yes, being the one that's home alone.
Being the one at home alone.
Yep.
All right, what's the first one?
Now, I don't agree with this. So this one is, it said, get up before your kids, give yourself time to get organized before chaos begins.
I do that anyway.
Now, if I had little kids, I mean, all of you need to also be aware, right now we have 3 kids at home because our college daughter is home for the summer, but we have a junior and a senior. They are extremely capable of getting themselves up.
Are you sure?
Yes. Well, sometimes they don't exactly wake up, and you wake them up.
Yes, I wake them up.
But I can see if you have little kids that you're dealing with.
You want some time alone.
Yeah, to kind of just like, hey, what's this day going to look like? You know what I mean? Like,
especially if you're not the primary caregiver.
Yeah.
And you're now taking the responsibility of everything.
Right.
Where before you split it, and you're going to need a little extra time to, get ready for the day.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I do like that.
All right.
And when you're gone, I do actually get up and I make sure that Sam is awake because sometimes he has a hard time. So sometimes. I do get up. I wake him up and I go back to bed.
Yeah. So, I mean, that boy, we could drop off the top of the roof and he wouldn't wake up.
Seriously.
All right. Next one. Hire a sitter or ask a family member to help.
Yes, I definitely agree with this one. Now, like I said, we are not at that point anymore.
But we have been at that point.
Absolutely. And it says, this might save your sanity. Do you know what I mean? Like when you don't have, and this is actually for single parents too, right? Like if you're just the single parent and you're just solo all the time, you need a break. You need a break sometimes. There's no one there to say, hey, I'm having a really bad time. I need to go sit in my room. I need a timeout for 30 minutes, right?
So all right. So I think that's a good one. All right, so far, it all looks good. All right. Start bedtime early.
Yeah. Once again, this is if you have little kids. Because I don't think that our...
No, I like to start bedtime early if you're gone. The boys can do whatever they want. I'm going to my room.
Our junior and senior, we actually usually go to bed before they do.
Yes, we absolutely do.
We're like, well, good night. We're going to bed. And we don't know what time.
I think it's funny because when I'm traveling, I stay up late because I'm working. I feel like if I'm away from family, I need to work. So in my hotel room, after we've done dinner or whatever, I go back and I get a bunch of work done. And then I typically fall asleep with my laptop. In
Well, typically you're on the East Coast, so it's 3 hours later anyway.
That is true.
So do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, it says, give yourself plenty of time. So it's not like this crunch time. It's just, hey, let's get through our bath time routine. Let's get through, story time. Let's have a nice slow pace to it.
Calm things down.
Yes, calm things down. So I actually really like that, right? It's just like give yourself extra time for bedtime and, get them to bed maybe a little earlier than normal just so you can have some peace and quiet after they go to bed.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Make contact with mom or dad. Who's mom or dad? Or whoever's gone is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Your spouse.
Right.
Okay, so make contact with your spouse.
Make contact with
daily?
your spouse. Yep. Oh, absolutely. And it says that if you have little kids, include them on the conversation like, hey, here's mommy. Hey, here's daddy. And it makes everybody feel a little more in the loop, included.
Now, I had spotty coverage when I was on the cruise. So
yes,
it was kind of weird because we could only talk maybe once a day.
It was so weird. Yeah, it was so weird because when you're out of town,
I normally will text you.
We usually talk in the morning. Like you call
Right.
me in the morning and hey, I just woke up and then you probably call me at like, oh, I have a break at lunch and you call me for a few minutes and then you call me after your meetings and then you call me, before you go to bed and we text.
I think I have an interdependency problem with you.
Well, this was weird because there was hardly any texting. There was you called maybe once a day at night. Like it was so weird.
It was so packed full of stuff to do, and then the connectivity was not great either.
I know.
So,
I started wondering about what my friend had said.
Yeah, thank you, friend.
What's Darren doing? Why isn't he calling me? Why isn't he texting me?
Well, and it did work one time when David called me and told me that there was a little accident in the parking lot.
Yes, I'm glad that worked because I wasn't available to take a call. So I'm glad that...
and his mom wasn't either.
Yeah, so I'm glad that he was able to get in touch with you.
Yeah, calmed everything down. It worked out.
But yeah, so try and talk every day. And if you have little kids, try and include them in the conversation.
I like that. All right, easy dinner.
Okay, now this 100 people, 100.
100 what?
Do an easy dinner.
Oh, 100%. Okay,
yes,
got it.
Do not do something complicated. I mean, it is funny when you leave town.
I already know. I can see the fast food bill goes.
No, that last time we only ate out one time. And then I don't even like big meals, honestly. And you know that about me.
I know, but I do.
So you said before you left, you go, would you like me to make you a bunch of food before I go? And I'm like, that's so funny. That's so sweet.
Well, because
it's so sweet.
When I was younger with my first wife, if she was leaving town, she left meals for me to prepare.
Just like me.
Yeah.
I leave a list of all of the restaurants in the area for Darren to go to. No, I would not do that for you.
No, you wouldn't.
No, I would not. But
because I enjoy cooking. So for me now, that's a nice break.
Yes. But what this is saying is, don't do anything complicated. Like that's the last thing you need at the end of the day. If you've had a long day with the kids by yourself, at the end of the day, do not now add some complicated dinner. Like keep it simple, right? Like mac and cheese, hot dog, whatever. You don't have to go out, but keep it easy.
All right, the next section is protecting your relationship. So we discuss things beforehand. What, like if I'm on a trip, this is my itinerary. This is when I'm not going to be able to communicate with you because I'm with a customer or I'm at a conference.
Yes.
Or I'm in a place where I don't have cell coverage.
Yes, so communicate those things, right? So that you're not sitting there going, he hasn't answered my text in 4 hours or she hasn't answered my phone call. What are they doing? So try and be very specific about your day. Like, hey, I'm going to be in a conference.
What if there is an emergency? I mean, we haven't even really discussed that. What if there's an emergency? I'm in a place where I can't get service, where you can't get a hold of me.
You know what? This actually used to be our life before cell phones,
yeah,
right?
That's true.
So,
but there was one time where this actually happened, and you wanted to call my coworker.
Yeah.
Don't you remember? You
I
wanted
don't.
to call Tim and say, what? I haven't heard from Darren all day.
Oh, yes. Yes. I do remember that. I had not heard from you all day. Like, yeah, I was worried. And I was just about to call your and your phone had died. You were at like a conference and then your phone died and you were then out for the next like 4 or 5 hours with a dead phone.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was not happy.
You were not happy. So maybe having a alternate communication plan or a coworker that you know that they're with,
yes,
that you could call.
That would actually be great. But yeah, but just be clear about what your plans are for the day so that you have those expectations of how much you're going to communicate.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Yeah.
One thing we always do, even if we're traveling together, we always text landed in.
So yeah, it says
Chicago.
develop rituals about your trips when you're apart. And so you always text me like through security, and then you text me landed, or taking off.
And
right?
then if I text you landed, I'm going to call you soon.
Right. Yep.
As I walk to my rental car or whatever the case may be.
So I guess those are our rituals. I don't know really. I mean, I guess if you have little kids, your rituals could be like, oh, I'm going to
read a story to Sally tonight or whatever the case may be.
Yep.
All right, Talk Daily. We talked about that.
We talked about that.
Take time to have some intimate time before and right after.
Yes, like I said, when I said send your spouse off happy, send your spouse off happy.
All right, so that intimate time alone.
It's important. It's important. And when they get back, you know what I mean? Don't have a headache. It's important.
I normally get back at like 10 or 11 o'clock at night.
I pretend to be asleep.
Yeah, exactly. All right, next one. This is interesting. Realize it's not a fairy tale. What does this mean?
So I can see how, like, you were just on a cruise.
So it was so
like,
great.
He's on this cruise. He's laying by the pool. He's having, his virgin pina coladas all day and wearing, lays. And you know what I mean? Like, you're thinking.
You mean like when you go on your trips?
Yes, exactly. Yes, my trips are the fairy tale. Yours are not.
No.
But do you know what I mean? Like, you're the one at home and you're just seeing the fun and you're like, great. But what you don't realize is you are on a work trip. You were working 12 hours a day. You know what I mean? Like,
well, what if it's not a work trip? What if it's a guy's weekend?
Well, then you just have to suck it up. You have to suck it up and go, they're having fun. And because they're having fun, they're going to come back home in a great space.
All right. I like that.
But it says, don't let resentment build up. Like if you're starting to be like, listen, every trip you're having steak dinners every night and I'm at home having mac and cheese. Like how can you work through that?
But I set that steak aside for you.
But do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like say, you know what? Hey, you're going to be gone for 5 days. One of those days I'm going to take the kids and we're going to have a nice meal or something like that.
No.
Just don't let the resentment build up about things like that.
Okay. All right. Next big category is take care of yourself. First one, socialize. Don't miss out on your friends.
Yes.
Right?
So the person at home, yes, take time, make a play date with your friends, right? If you have little kids, go to the park, whatever. And if you have older kids, maybe, go out to lunch, go out to dinner, just have a little bit of, get out of the house and have some fun.
All right. This one's interesting. The next one, look at the time by yourself as positive.
Yeah.
You had a hard time with this because there were no kids around either.
Yes, the kids were not around. Sam was actually house sitting for some house and dog sitting. And so I was home alone a lot, like a lot.
Like for 4 days.
But I'm saying in that 4 days. No, it was actually, you were gone for 6 days.
Yeah, but Sam was only gone for 4.
But I mean, he was at work. You know what I mean? He went to school and he was at work. Like he really wasn't around very much. So, look at it as a positive. So
yeah, you had a hard time at first.
Actually, at first, I'm excited. Like the first 2 days, I'm like, ooh, get to watch whatever I want. La, la, la.
You get to watch whatever you want.
I know.
Anyway.
Like it's just this mindset, right?
Yeah.
And I'm, I get to just, wander around the house doing whatever I want, which I can do that too. But I said, it's a mindset. But, you work on projects you've been putting off, read a book. It's just saying, look at it as a positive instead of, I'm home alone.
Yeah, no, I like that. Yeah. So what happened later on in the week for you though?
Oh, I get lonely. I do.
I'm glad you get lonely.
I do, especially when like you and I were barely communicating and it was just like, this is so weird. I'm lonely. So I actually did a lot of things with friends because I was lonely. So
Yeah.
I was out and about a lot.
Okay. Escape when to get home. What?
Escape when they get home.
Oh, escape when they get home. Oh, got it.
So I don't agree with this. So this is saying,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
as soon as your partner gets home from their trip,
Go out and do something.
it says by yourself. Like,
Oh, like I'm done. It's
yes,
your turn.
Yes, that is what this article said.
Ooh, I
don't
disagree.
agree. I think we both disagree with that. Like, as soon as they walk in and you're like, I've just had 5 days with the kids, I'm out. I'm going out with some friends, or I'm just going to go do grocery shopping by myself, whatever it is. I think it's better to spend the day or evening together, and then maybe the next day. Like, because when you travel, you're exhausted when you get home. The last thing you want to do is be like, it's all on you.
It's all you. Yeah. Here's the kid. I haven't changed their diaper for 5 hours.
Yep. So I disagree with that. Now it says like sleep in. Sure. The next day say, hey, is it, can I sleep in? Can you get up with the kids? Of course. But as soon as you walk in the door, no, I don't think that's a good idea.
Okay. No, I like that. All right. Next one. Think of all the great, I like this one. Think of all the travel points your partner's getting on airlines or hotel stays.
Yeah, so this is another positive spin.
All right. I like that positive spin,
right?
Because, hey, sometimes that'll pay for a week vacation.
That's
somewhere.
right. It's racking up points for a fun vacation to do later.
All right. I like that. All right. Our lemonade moment of the week.
It has to do with exactly what we were just talking about. The lemon.
I was out of town.
You were out of town.
Me.
Yes.
I'm glad
I did miss you.
To me, that's the lemonade. That my wife misses me when I'm out of town. That is 100% lemonade.
And, I like that.
It is.
And the lemonade is also that I got a lot done around the house. I cleaned out the pantry. We can actually walk into our food pantry now.
It's amazing. We'll see how long it lasts.
It is amazing. I'm like, everybody better keep it this way.
Oh, you cleaned my office?
I cleaned the office. I cleaned closets. So no, I got a lot of things done.
I should state, my office, no, not my office. It's the family office because everyone dumps their stuff in here.
Yeah, it's like someone's coming over. Everyone put everything into the office. So I got it all nice and organized.
Yes, it looks very great. Yeah. Thank you.
And I had the TV all to myself. And I didn't have to eat big meals.
But yeah, that's a plus for you.
Because I prefer to have like a piece of toast for dinner. So, but when I know you don't get it. And so you make big meals and then I eat them.
I eat more of them.
Yes, you do. So I got to eat on my timeline and
which you don't get to do when we travel.
I know. That's one of the drawbacks of traveling.
Yeah.
I have to eat when
everyone else does.
Everyone else eats. If you like today's episode,
give us 5 stars on iTunes, Spotify, Google.
And head to Facebook and like us.
And check out our blog at where'sthelemonade.org,
where you can leave questions and comments.
But most of all,
go out and make some lemonade.
You betcha, baby.